Welcome viewers to Historical Journeys. Construction workers in New York City are able to deal with chaos at work. In any case, Sovereign's laborers found something they weren't searching for in the development zone. A disclosure that caused them to fail to remember all their past snags. The construction crew stared at an eerie glimpse of hundreds of years of history as the backhoe removed dirt rather than mud and routes. The gathering of laborers inadvertently uncovered a curio that settled on the decision for fortifications. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It only takes a second, and you won't miss any of our future videos. Let's get started. When workers excavating a typical excavation site, and the Queens heard the loud clanking of metal connections, they stopped everything they were doing to investigate what they had hit. Where they expected to find soft dirt and rocks, they found strangely stacked metal sheets, they said. When they pushed one of the large sheets away, they saw the shape of something below that turned their stomachs, and convinced them that it was not just an old rusty pipe. The builders quickly called the police and reported the incident. Detectives Warren and Sayes believed it was a human body. As you can see, further investigation revealed that this place is not a crime scene. Where there should have been dust and bones lay the amazingly preserved body of a woman, carefully dressed in the clothes of at least a century ago. Scott Warren was the right person. Scott wasn't accustomed to noting murder calls. Luckily, Scott fostered an energy for old, bizarre, and now and then bleak individuals. Scott was able to determine that the body was buried approximately 150 years ago, using the information that the person was buried in an iron coffin. He then considered the identity of the woman who carried this valuable and rare object in the coffin. He was African American, and they saw something surprising about his skin. Scientific researchers realized they need to safeguard bodies from the components to get a good deal on decay. Be that as it may, for this situation, peculiar spots on the skin made them totally overlook this propensity. A progression of dad marks were noticeable on the skull, showing an irresistible illness, smallpox. The forensics team was compelled to notify the Centers for Disease Control and withdraw until contamination at the crime scene was eliminated. They were replaced by CDC investigators. They looked at this viewpoint and agreed right away that it could spread. Smallpox killed a greater number of individuals overall than some other illness. In the 20th century alone, this illness caused the passing of 300 to 500 million individuals. The fact that Iron Coffin Scott has existed for 150 years at the same time as a smallpox outbreak suggests that this poor girl is one of many New Yorkers affected by the disease. Luckily, the examples shipped off the lab show that the sickness was irreversible. They focus on determining the identity of the girl trapped in the iron coffin out of fear of an epidemic. The case was legitimately shut, yet Scott wasn't prepared to express farewell to the missing young lady. In order to precisely identify who V was, the bones provide yet another essential element. You could imagine that iron boxes would be an issue for survivors looking for insurance from smallpox. No, this special casket should be your most prized possession, as it is reserved for those who are willing to pay a high price for your eternal rest. All things being equal, it was made by Almond Dumber Fisk after his sibling kicked the bucket nowhere near home. Why was this girl put to rest in a concrete box? Equipped with this information, he went to public history, becoming sovereign in 1850, which was isolated into two managerial urban communities and another city. In the end, the unknown woman was buried on a quiet street in a small Dutch town, next to a well-known black church. The black population in Newtown increased during the 1850s. Researchers wanted her daughter to be included on the list because that year's census was the first to include African Americans, despite the fact that they were denied the right to vote. After a little examination on individuals referenced on the left, specialists affirmed that one of them was the young lady in the metal box, a 26-year-old young lady named Martha Peterson, who moved from subjugation to opportunity in 1850 New York. However, Martha Peterson was accessible. According to the records, he lived in a man's house that was directly connected to a metal box that looked dangerous. The enumeration records Martha as an occupant of William Raymond's home, sister by marriage and accomplice in Fisk's almond box business, and they are attempting to disentangle the secret of what they know. The African American community was close to Martha's hometown and gave a lot. When black media and messages are suppressed, he stands for a group of people who are ignored and lost in the shuffle. They reached Street Imprint's African Methodist Episcopal Church with the intriguing story of a departed parishioner. The church regarded Martha's tale as significant. Edge Minister Kimberly L.D. said it means a lot to us to treat them with the highest regard. In particular, we gave proper respect to the individual we thought she was. They wanted to tell her amazing story to her community because she felt like her own friend at that moment. Yet, after carefully reproducing her bones, muscles, and facial elements, they wound up gazing into the essence of Martha Peterson. Her visual picture is a significant wake-up call that she is something beyond her name of record. She was an individual who lived in a world not even close to the past. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay updated with our latest videos, subscribing is the way to go. Just click that red button below and become a part of our channel family.